I know Tucker's a big story, but it is kind of interesting to talk about Don Lemon. What the hell?
The contrast is so funny.
Why now?
Go ahead, sorry.
Literally, Chris Licht was just out there publicly. He was on some panel like 10 days ago, Steve will tell me. And he was saying, oh, only old Don Lemon is controversial. Once, now he's past all that. Now he's on mornings. He's past all that. And then boom, he's fired too.
And Megyn, there may be some hidden thing we don't know about that caused it. And presumably, if there is, that will come out. It just happened, a couple hours ago. But here's what I will say. First of all, the contrast is funny because on the one hand, you have Tucker Carlson, who is watched by millions and millions and millions of people and is setting records for ratings in cable news. And on the other hand, you have someone, Don Lemon, who has no audience, even with the gigantic CNN brand behind him. Just people don't want to see or care about or listen to Don Lemon. The thing about it is, I will say, and we've talked about all these weird, like misogynistic tensions and resentments he has that were so visible. I've seen a couple of clips coming through my Twitter feed and elsewhere, and his anger and just like bitterness and resentment with his colleagues and just in life is so palpable. Like you could just tell he's so angry when he has to wait for his co-host to get done with their questions. He really feels like all the attention should be on him. And the personality flaws that caused him to have so many problems, to have to go to formal re-education therapy or whatever, these are intrinsic in who he is, and it's only getting worse the more he's humiliated. So I'm not surprised it kept building.
Maybe he failed camp. Maybe
he got F's on the re-education tests.
Maybe he failed on it. To your point, just last week, they had on the morning show. It was Poppy Harlow and Don, and they had on Vivek Ramaswamy running for president as a Republican candidate, and it was an annoying exchange. Vivek was trying to make a point about Black history in America, and Don Lemon accused him of like, don't race-splain or something. I don't know. He was like, don't tell me about Black history in America, because I guess you're only allowed to talk about it if you are Black. You're not allowed to just have knowledge about it and comment. And so it ended kind of tensely between Don and Vivek, though there was a handshake. And then Poppy was clearly trying to be the peacemaker and say, Vivek, the next time you come on, we'll talk about some of these other things we didn't get to. Here's how the ending of that exchange went.
Okay, we appreciate you coming on.
With due respect, Don, I look forward to continuing that conversation.
We'll
Thank
continue
you.
the conversation.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Papa.
We'll talk about China.
Yes, let's talk about China.
Next time you come back.
Oh, thank you. Much to say on declaring independence from China.
Okay,
something you can add
on now, please.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right? You see, the audience, in case you didn't hear it, he was like, okay, we'll move on now. Thank you. Without even looking at the guest. He's annoyed that Poppy's saying, you'll come back on to talk about China. He's like, I wrapped this interview. Shut the fuck up. We're moving on. Shut up. That's really what was happening there.
I mean, it's unpleasant to watch somebody. It's not like an interesting tension, right? Like sometimes, like people used to love Gore Vidal and William Buckley, like those debates. Right. They really didn't like each other, but it was like driven by a kind of ideological passion, and they were both super charismatic and incredibly well-spoken. People loved it. This, though, is just like trivial, small vindictiveness, like diva behavior, and it expresses itself as obvious misogyny. It's unpleasant to watch. And maybe you can get away with it if you're a big star, but as Trump pointed out notoriously, but Don Lemon is not a big star. He's well known, but he doesn't bring any ratings in. And so your ability to get away with that is practically zero.
None. Their ratings on that morning show are in the toilet. The entire daytime and primetime ratings at CNN are in the toilet. Their main competitor, MSNBC, is doubling them right now. They got nothing going. Absolutely nothing. And I'm sure he's making a nice salary, but so far he's been untouchable. So I'd love to find out what changed, because it was the last straw felt very sudden. You could go to Brazil or Colombia or wherever and get some crazy stuff done to your face. But why would you do that? It's unnecessary. Now you can look years younger right before your very eyes during the Genucel Mother's Day sale. And you don't have to get on a plane to make it happen. Here's a real review from Genucel.com. Claire writes, I absolutely love Genucel. My skin feels so good, tighter, younger, with a more even tone, and I only used it for a week. My advice for everyone, Take a before picture. Her husband Jim writes in saying, wife loves it. Ever since I purchased it for her, things got much more interesting after dark. Enough said. It's true, nothing works like Genucel because it's a family recipe for over 20 years, made by a compounding pharmacist in small batches and always safe, cruelty-free, and natural. Now, go to Genucel.com/MK60 and save over 70% off Genucel's most popular package, all their best stuff, during their Mother's Day sale. Every most popular package features their Ultra Retinol and their Dark Spot Corrector. Don't wait. Go to Genucel.com/MK60, Genucel.com/MK60. Get a complimentary Spa Essentials box with every package order until Mother's Day, now through Mother's Day. Plus, free upgrade to priority shipping as well. GENUCEL.com/MK60. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.